Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next episodes of MHEDA Talks. I'm your host, Shari Altergott, the CEO of the CX Edge. We have a very special podcast for you today. This is one of my favorite conferences. We're going to be talking about the Emerging Leaders Conference. We have 3 people that have attended in the past and plan on attending in the future. So a good treat for you to get some different perspectives of what this conference is all about and some other tips just about leadership growing up within the material handling industry. First, we have Garrett King. He's a project engineering manager at SilMan Industries. We have Szalay, engineering manager at Conveyor and Caster, and Stephanie Garrett, who's sales, pricing, and systems manager at Toyota Material Handling. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Hello.
Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you guys so much for having me. And when I opened and I said, we're going to be talking about the Emerging Leaders Conference, which I do think is a tremendous conference that MHEDA puts on. I had attended it for many, many years. A lot of my current industry connections are from that particular conference. So I think it's a great one. But I want to end on talking about the conference. I really want to start because you guys, I hate to put age too much into it, but you've been attending Emerging Leaders, you're all in leadership positions, and probably from a total demographic of your individual companies, you land on maybe the younger side of the total population, just given some standard industry metrics that typically kind of fall out. So just to kind of get started, I was hoping each of you could just introduce yourselves, tell us a little bit about your company and how you got started in material handling. Stephanie, if you're on the right side of my screen, could we start with you?
Sure, yes. So my name's Stephanie Garrett. I am the aftermarket parts sales and pricing and systems manager. Toyota is a leading forklift manufacturer based in Columbus, Indiana. We really focus on being a solutions provider, providing quality products with advanced technologies and automation and energy. I kind of fell into the industrial manufacturing career right out of college. I started with transport refrigeration and moved on to diesel engines. And then when an opportunity came up at Toyota Material Handling in strategic planning, it's just something I couldn't pass up.
Awesome. Thank you. Rod, could you give us a quick introduction?
Yeah, so my name is Szalay. I'm the engineering manager at Conveyor and Caster. We are a material handling distributor and integrator, and I'm more on the integration side. We do pretty much every possible product except for forklifts, and been around for over 65 years, and it's a 4th generation company.
Awesome. Thank you. And Garrett, how about you?
So my name is Garrett King. I'm a project engineering manager at SilMan Industries. We're a material handling integrator. I actually got my start with the company right out of college, and I've been with the company for a little over 10 years.
Well, awesome. Well, welcome, guys. And I do know a little bit about, I started in this industry, I started when I was 20. So I know a little bit about starting out at the younger end of the spectrum and kind of rising, through the ranks over time and a lot of the challenges that can come with that position. And I know you guys have been in similar type positions. So I was hoping you could give me a little bit of a background on how you got to the leadership role that you have today. Rod, how about we start with you?
Sure. So, I've been with this company for about 5 years. I was brand new to the material handling industry, and the leadership at my company just really, pushed me to grow in my career, and just over time with my experience and learning, it really kind of helped me get to where I am in the leadership role. They were always big on training. So I took, courses online on leadership, went to the Emerging Leaders Conference a couple of years, did sales training and things like that. So the more I became comfortable with the industry and what I was doing, people tended to just naturally gravitate towards me, and eventually got to become the engineering manager.
Awesome. Garrett, how about you?
Yeah, I was going to chime in there. So as I mentioned, I've been with the company for a little over 10 years, and we actually started our engineering department around the same time. And I was actually the second engineer to be hired with the team. And as we continued to add individuals over the years, there was a need for someone to really manage those individuals and make sure we're moving down the correct path. And so that's really, I kind of landed in this role. Really happy I did. Over the years, I've seen a lot of changes, seen a lot of positives, seen some negatives, but it always kind of allows you to focus on what you need to do moving forward, to continue building the team and building the company.
And you just got a promotion, right? Within the last month or so? Oh, no, I'm sorry. That was Rod, wasn't it?
I was going to say, if I did, I didn't hear about it.
That was me. I messed that one up. Sorry. Rod, you had recently received a promotion.
Yeah. It's been about a month or so.
Congratulations.
Garrett, we're holding out for you, though. You're next.
Right, thank you.
Stephanie, come, Garrett.
We're manifesting for you, Garrett.
I appreciate it.
Stephanie, how about you?
So for my role right now, they found a lot of value in my pricing experience. I had 7.5 years of pricing experience before joining Toyota. And for pricing, for me, it was just that great balance between marketing and finance. So I found something that I really enjoyed and I was really good at. And because of that, I was involved in a number of interesting projects. And I just showed my value as an employee and as a leader in those, and got opportunities from there.
Awesome. Yeah, I think, continuing education and demonstrating value, two really key components to starting off in an industry and growing within it. So those are all really great points. Thank you. Let's switch to kind of, as you've gone through your journey of becoming a leader, what are some insights that you've kind of learned along the way? What are some of the most important leadership insights that you've recognized as you've gone through your journey? And Garrett, I was hoping we could start with you.
Okay. Really, I think it's important to be humble, as you grow as a leader. It's important to understand that you don't have all the answers, and that you need to reach out to your team and really absorb as much as you can from everyone around you. It's being a leader, as you absorb, everything around you, you also want to be able to teach others to also step up and be able to do more. And really that drives the continual growth on the team. You don't want to say, hey, let me do everything. You want to be able to teach other individuals and build everything up as you go. So I think really those are some of the key values that are important to, in a leadership role.
Yeah, absolutely. Stephanie, how about you? What have you kind of realized along your journey as it relates to being a leader?
For me, it's building relationships and building that home-like atmosphere for my team, but also building relationships outside of my team. So when there are challenges that come up, that there's an extended team to go to for support.
That's a really good one. But not everybody recognizes. It took me a long time to get there, I'll say. I recognize that a little late in the game for sure. Rod, how about you?
What I've definitely learned is that leadership is all about the people. It's, kind of going off of what Garrett mentioned, you have to be humble, and it's okay to not have the answers, because that showing your vulnerability kind of lets everybody else drop their guard a little bit. And then it's also, teaching others. I might not know the answer, but you may know it. And then next time you ask a question, I'm going to teach you how it is, so it's like dealing with leadership. It's all about, working with people, making them feel comfortable, inspiring them to, want to do better and grow and do their best work as well.
One of the questions I get asked a lot at different types of conventions is, how do you find a mentor? Because I talk a lot about mentorship and the importance of that. And, I think the first question for people just work in an environment where it hasn't organically happened, they're like, how do I find a mentor, or how do I become a mentee? Do you guys have somebody that you consider a mentor, or maybe somebody you just look up to for inspiration? Stephanie, I was hoping to start with you.
Yeah, sure. So honestly, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Jeanette Walker is actually someone that is very inspirational to me, the interim CEO for MHEDA. I've worked for her with her for a couple of years now. And as a woman in the industry, she's very inspiring. She's a rock star. I hope to be her when I grow up. But I've learned a lot from her for sure.
And we didn't even have to pay you to say that on the MHEDA podcast. That's awesome. Rod, how about you?
I'm lucky enough where actually my boss has become my mentor. Prior to joining, our company, he was working for a Japanese bearing company for 25, 30 years. So he had a lot of good leadership experience. And just by him making me feel comfortable, and he was very good at wanting to teach me, and it was really an inspiration. So I've kind of been lucky that it became organic, but I've also throughout the years and other companies that I've worked for, you attend different industry events and things like that. And, I still keep those connections as well for non-material handling questions and things like that.
That's so important. I think, even if they're not in your industry, there's so many different perspectives that I think are really good. And it's really good to have that diversification of mentors, that it's not only just your boss, or it's not only just people in the industry. I think that kind of keeps you more well-rounded. So that's a really great point. Garrett, how about you?
So I haven't had a specific mentor since I've been here. I've really just pulled from different individuals. Really, the leadership at SilMan has been great, just to support the individuals, kind of on the front lines. But we've also hired different individuals over the years that, they've been in the industry for 20, 25 years. And certain individuals have done a fantastic job with me, just saying, hey, if you need anything, give me a call, if it's work related or non-work related, and that individual has really done a fantastic job in being a de facto mentor for me, just understanding kind of the ins and outs of, working with different people, managing individuals, managing tasks, in real time. So that's been huge for me. And as I grow in leadership, grow in career, I feel like that's going to be important for me to kind of reflect on, for younger individuals coming right out of college, just to make sure they have the confidence to build their career and build their experience. So I agree. I think mentorship is huge and needs to continue moving forward.
Absolutely. And I think you even made a good point in the beginning of sometimes we don't have a specific saying, this is my mentor, that a mentor-mentee relationship doesn't always have to be super formal, that you discuss that you're having this relationship. Sometimes it is just pieces of people that you look to within your organization. So I think that's a good way of looking at it as well. I know one of the things that I struggled with, especially as you grow within a company and keep moving up the ladder, you keep getting busier and busier. And some of the things that it can be a struggle is, how do you continue to educate yourself? How do you find time to continue to grow? Because the reality is it never stops. And no matter what place you get to in any organization, there's always room to learn. So what are some strategies that you guys look to really continue to grow and develop as a leader? And Rod, I'll start with you on this one.
For me, what I've learned is that the work is always going to be there. We're always going to be super busy, and it's just, you have to make it a point to, find time to learn and grow and attend, different conferences and things like that. It's kind of like, working out or taking care of yourself. It's so easy to not go to the gym, but you have to just understand that that is something that's very important. So you just have to build it into your day, and just make it a priority.
I totally agree. Garrett, how about you? What are you doing to continue to grow?
I agree with Rod. It is difficult, especially on a daily basis, to continue to grow. But personally, I try to read books on leadership, try to dig into content on leadership. I've learned that there's really no guidebook. There's just individual perspectives from other individuals that you can take from what they presented and, kind of implement it in your own life, in your own career, and just kind of have stepping stones, I guess, to move forward. And really, I feel like leadership teaches you something every day, something different. The individuals around you that you work with, the scenarios teach you something different every day. So really just being in the position, I think, helps with the experience and continues building your skills.
Absolutely. Stephanie, how about you? What are you doing to continue to grow?
Yeah, Toyota is really big on employee development. So all of us, every employee at Toyota has a goal on our annual plan that we have to have so many education and training hours per year. So they offer a number of leadership and development opportunities throughout the year. One of the activities that I recently did with my team that I found really beneficial was the DISC assessment, which is an interpersonal behavior assessment to see how we interact with each other. So it was very enlightening to find out more about myself and how I communicate and how my team takes that communication and how they would prefer that communication. So I think just understanding different communication types and how you can cater your leadership efforts to just make the most out of each individual team member.
Yeah, that's such an important piece, is recognizing that not everybody wants to be treated the same. And you don't have to treat everybody the same. You have to treat everybody fairly, but not the same. And I think the DISC survey is such a great tool that really allows you to learn about other people. So that's a really good point. Thank you for that. As I said, we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about the Emerging Leaders Conference because that's why we're here. So it's taking place July 25th in the Chicago area. The Emerging Leaders Conference is open for registration. I said I've attended the Emerging Leaders Conference for a number of years. I actually have 3 clients today that I met over 8 years ago from the Emerging Leaders Conference. That's where that relationship was born. So, sometimes these relationships definitely evolve over time, but you need to start somewhere, and it's such a great opportunity to meet people. So I know all of you attended the conference last year. What was your biggest takeaway from the conference last year? And Garrett, I'll start with you.
Okay. My biggest takeaway was really the networking that took place. That was my first time attending the Emerging Leaders Conference. And it was really neat to be in a space where you had multiple individuals that were different companies doing something completely different for the most part from what you're doing, and seeing that they have the same challenges, same issues, and being able to talk through those and get different perspectives was really important for me. And also the speakers that they were fantastic, and really the speeches were very thought-provoking and kind of left me feeling, for the next 2 days, kind of thinking about what they said and how to implement that, on my team and within my career. But those two were my really biggest takeaways from the Emerging Leaders Conference.
And Stephanie, how about you? What did you get from Emerging Leaders last year as a takeaway? Oh, I'm sorry, you didn't attend Emerging Leaders last year.
I was actually not able to attend. I did attend the Women in Industry, and my takeaways were similar to Garrett's. Very inspiring speakers, but what I got most out of it was the interaction with all of my colleagues and how they interpreted what the speakers were saying and how that related to their daily responsibilities and what they could take back to their roles with that.
That's awesome. What's always so interesting is how, we all get the same set of facts. We could all be sitting in the same session, listening to the same speaker, but how different people walk away from that and different people took away from that is always really interesting to me. So I think that's a really good point. Rod, how about you? What did you take away from last year's Emerging Leaders Conference?
Aside from the networking, which is absolutely invaluable, it's really good to have conversations with other people in the industry and kind of understand that, we're not all alone here. Specifically last year, one of my biggest takeaways was learning how to have more meaningful conversations, more, I think it was candid conversations was the topic. Nobody likes to have those tough conversations with people, but that is really the most important thing to have in real time, because otherwise you tend to just let things build up until they can't be fixed anymore. So it was really good to not only just learn that, but then we were also given the opportunity to practice that, and have true meaningful conversations with our peers at the event.
Awesome. Such a good point. So I mentioned that we have the Emerging Leaders Conference coming up in July. Who do you guys think could benefit the most from attending this type of conference? And Stephanie, I'll start with you.
Sure. I think anyone that is interested in personal or professional development, I don't think you need to be a leader to get something out of what the speakers have to offer. It's just someone that wants to develop those leadership skills.
And Ryan, how about you? Who can benefit from this conference?
I agree with Stephanie. I mean, just everybody and anybody. If you're interested in learning and growing as an individual, then this conference is for you.
Garrett?
I agree with Stephanie and Rod. If you have the willingness to learn and build on yourself from a professional aspect, I think this conference is you. I started off with saying any young leader would be well off going to this conference, but really it's anyone that is interested and willing to learn. I think it's super helpful.
I totally agree. And I kind of attended this conference in different capacities of my role within my former company, whether I was a new supervisor, I went when I was a manager, and I even went when I was vice president. So it kind of spans all of those lines, and you don't need to have a management title to be able to attend, because I think we're all leaders in some capacity. So I think you get as much out of it as you put into it. And to all of your points, MHEDA does such a great job at organizing the event and picking out speakers that, kind of hit, different topics that maybe you don't hear about all the time. So all really great points. Well, you guys have made it, if you can believe it, to our lightning round of MHEDA Talks. I'm not sure how familiar you are with the lightning round, but I have a few questions. The way we're going to do this is I'll call on each person, but somebody different's going to start each time, because you have an advantage if you don't start, because you can think about the question for a second. It's the person in the first spot that has to be really quick on it. So I have a few questions. They're meant to be fun, just kind of get to know you guys a little bit better. Stephanie, I'm going to start with you. Are you guys ready, first of all, to enter the lightning round of MHEDA Talks? All right, Stephanie, the first one's good, and then everyone will answer the same question, so we'll go around. Stephanie, what is your emergency stress relief snack at work?
Oh, I'd have to say Cheez-Its.
Cheez-It was solid.
I mean,
Rod,
salty.
how about you? Emergency stress relief snack.
I'm not really much of a snacker, so actually my stress relief is to just get up and walk away.
You know,
Yeah, I
that's
do
a
the
healthy decision. Garrett, you
I'd say
get up
mine
and
is
walk away. You don't have a
almonds.
snack?
Yeah, get up, walk away.
Uh,
Almonds, though, is what I would say is snack. It seems to keep me occupied.
I'm on Stephanie's camp on this, and I said mine is always Cheez-It or Cheetos. But that always kind of takes the edge off sometimes. This one starts with you. If you could meet your future self, what advice would you ask for?
How did I get where I'm at right now?
All right. And how about you?
Probably
Garrett.
what? Oh, sorry, Garrett.
Sorry, I broke
Oh,
up
no,
there.
go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, what was the question again?
All right,
I'm
let's
sorry.
go back to Garrett. If you could be your future self, what advice would you ask for?
Really, what not to do? What can you go back and change that give you a lot less heartburn, I guess.
Make your life easier. And Stephanie, how about you?
What opportunities should you focus on, and which ones should you just skip?
Yes, I have had a lot of wasted time focusing on things that didn't serve me. That's a good one. All right, Garrett, this one starts with you. What's your favorite social media platform?
Hate to say it, but Facebook.
You know what? There's no shame in that. Don't be shameful. Stephanie, how about you?
I think I'd have to go with Instagram.
Choice. And Rod?
Yeah, I'd probably have to say Instagram as well.
All right, this goes back to Stephanie. Would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
Oh, probably 100 duck-sized horses.
Rod, how about you?
I think I would have to go with the horse-sized duck. I don't know if I can handle 100 little things nipping at me.
Garrett, how about you?
Yeah, I'd say horse-sized duck. Ducks can be really mean, so I'm good on that.
They can. My daughter actually wrote the question as her father has a fear of ducks. So. All right, Rod, we're gonna start with you. What's your favorite comedic movie of all time?
Ooh, that's a good one. I would have to say probably Office Space.
It's such a solid movie. Garrett, how about you?
I was going to say Office Space, but since Rod already took that, I would say Step Brothers.
Oh, that's a good one.
Solid. Stephanie?
Well, I just introduced Ocean's 11 to my kids last weekend, so that's a top of mind for me. I'd have to go with Ocean's 11.
Fantastic. All right, last one. Garrett, we're going to start with you. If you could have any fictional character as your coworker, who would it be?
I really haven't thought about that before. I'd say Superman. I'm sure that would be helpful in some way.
It has to be, right? Stephanie, how about you?
I'd say Jump Office. Some comedic relief.
Yeah. Rod, how about you?
I think I'd say Ron Swanson from Parks and Rec.
Those are fantastic choices. Fantastic choices. Well, you guys successfully made it through the lightning round. Thank you for playing. Everyone did a fantastic job. And thank you guys for joining us today to talk about leadership in the Emerging Leaders Conference. For anyone that's interested in learning more about the Emerging Leaders Conference, you can go to MHEDA's website. That's MHEDA.org. They have more information, and the registration information is available there. Again, the conference is July 25th. I really appreciate you guys taking some time out of your day and talking with us. Thank you again, and we'll see everyone again on MHEDA Talks. I've been your host, Shari Altergott. We'll see you real soon. Thank you.